Hi, my name is Emily with Small Furry Games, where we create games that are simple to learn, with high social interaction and great storytelling, always keeping an eye on sustainability and small packages. Today I'd like to introduce you to Dentale. This is a pure strategy game with a hint of racing and take that. It is for 2 players, takes about 20 to 30 minutes to play, and is for ages 10 plus. Our story begins when a tooth fairy and a gum goblin walk into a bar, reveal tiny tooth-filled pouches from their leather satchels, and sit down to play the most ancient game of the tooth collector class, Dentale. In this challenge of wits and magic, 2 players compete to collect the most valuable hoard of teeth from a game board fashioned after a human skull. Our game includes this game board that you see here, including 32 tooth pieces, 2 front incisors, 4 small incisors, 4 cuspids, 8 bicuspids, 8 molars, a gold tooth, a crown, and 4 wisdom teeth. There are also 2 player pawns, 2 player gems, and a bowl here that will be used to discard teeth throughout the game. The aim of this game is to gather a more highly valued collection of teeth than your opponent. You will do this by extracting teeth, filling empty sockets, and transplanting teeth to make patterns as you move your pawns around the game board that model a human maxilla and mandible. The goblin will score by collecting yellow and cavity-ridden teeth. They command the best prices on the black magic market, of course, while the tooth fairy scores by collecting healthy white teeth, which make the most wholesome fair trade fairy dust. A special gold tooth and a crown can add value to either player's tooth collection, and a summary of the teeth prices are listed on each player's side of the game mat. We start by preparing the skull with all the 32 teeth, then choosing a character. The Tooth Fairy, which is the blue character, will play against the Gum Goblin, who is the green character. Each player takes a pawn and gem of their color and sits on their side of the game board, and then we place both pawns at the diastema, or the gap between the front 2 teeth. The Tooth Fairy, being the more civilized and well-mannered of the 2, will let the Gum Goblin go first. On each turn, the players will play 3 actions, all starting with the letter M. The first one is to move. Place your gem on one of the numbers of the movement track. You may not place your gem on top of your opponent's gem, and you must move your gem to a new number each turn. Then you move your pawn exactly that number of spaces around the board in either direction you choose. Optionally, you may discard 1 or more teeth of your opponent's color from your collection to move 1 extra space per tooth. If you do this, these teeth are removed from the game and they are kept from your opponent. After you move, you will meddle. When your pawn lands next to a tooth socket, you may take one of the following actions. You may extract a tooth by removing it and placing it into your collection. You can take a bridge. If you land anywhere on a line of 3 or more teeth of the same color, you can extract all the teeth in that bridge. Wisdom teeth cannot be included in bridges. You can also fill a socket. If the socket is empty, you can take a tooth from your collection and place it into the socket. If this creates a bridge, you'll have to wait till next turn to take that one. You can transplant a tooth by swapping it with a tooth that is adjacent to it, or a tooth from your collection. Again, if this creates a bridge, you just have to wait 1 more turn to take it. And lastly, you can use magic by casting a spell. If you are a fairy and you want those white sparkly teeth, you can increase the number of the die up to the shiniest, sparkliest of them 1 degree at a time. So you might remove a cavity or whiten the tooth. If you're a goblin, you can summon decay. As you rotate the tooth, you reduce its cleanliness by 1 degree, for instance, adding a cavity, making it yellow, or removing a sparkle. And lastly, if your pawn landed on a space occupied by the other player, you can maraud, which means you can steal either 1 tooth from their collection and add it to your own collection, or you can move their pawn back to the diastema. Players take turns back and forth until all teeth of 1 color, either white or yellow, excluding the wisdom teeth, have been removed from the board. Then players will appraise or score their collections according to the list on their side of the board, and the player with the most valuable tooth collection will win. Then, of course, they shake hands, finish their beverages, and pack up their respective new tooth collections, and then the 2 travelers head on their separate ways, the goblin to peddle rotten teeth on the black magic market, and the fairy to wholesale some pearly whites to a local fairy dust maker, who will of course grind them into organic fair trade fairy dust. That is, unless the fairy and the goblin want a rematch. That is Dentale. My name is Emily at Small Furry Games. If you want to learn more about this game, you can visit www.smallfurrygames.com/teeth, sign up to print and playtest, or join us for a playtest on Tabletop Simulator. Thanks so much.